face, I like to get consent before I start the stream, you know?
He just goes.
It is #1 priority always.
I
Who's
think
the
so.
guest?
By the way, do we need to be recording on our end, or are you doing the group recording?
Yes, we do need to be recording on our own end, but we can deal with that in a moment once we make sure everything's working.
Cool.
It looks like we're streaming on YouTube.
Okay, cool.
Is Tosh mega quiet for everybody or just me? Because I can
a little quiet.
I already cranked Tosh up on my end, so it's your own responsibility.
Oh yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, tell me. Let's see. Okay. How is that?
Ain't nothing but a
the same.
That's this. What the heck?
It's a little louder.
It's the same. Okay, I'm talking.
There we go. That's louder.
All right. This is bad content, you guys.
Hell yeah, man.
We gotta put on a goddamn show for the people. So, oh wait, before we do that, hold on. We have to do probably like 2 more minutes of bad content.
Into robots.
Everybody, just start your own recording whenever you can. I just sync them up with the stream VOD afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay,
so totally you, no synchronicity required. Just go fucking buck wild. Start whenever you feel like.
Actually, we're gonna require that nobody start at the same time. Actually.
Testing.
At the same time as Tosh for a bonding exercise.
Wait, what? Sorry, I didn't.
We have to start at the same time to bond.
Oh
yeah.
So
guys.
Did we do something to make you mad?
Jeez, crow. Jeez, Christmas crow. Is this good? Is this good?
What's your favorite season of Glee?
None of them.
That's not an answer.
Where's the one where Matthew Morrison gets shot?
He doesn't get shot. No one gets shot.
Oh god, come on. I can't have this one thing. Glee. Good, because he wouldn't make a student wear a bikini.
Yeah.
Testing. Okay, we good.
Okay, we're good. Okay, I've been hanging on to this anecdote for like a week now because I don't know if it's actually interesting or if it's just me. So I made the show Paw Patrol. We all know. We all love it.
Good start.
Paw Patrol, the father of all the trolls. So we know him. You know how it's little dogs and they're all like half helicopters, but they all have like jobs. Like one of them is a cop, and one of them is like a doctor. They all have like jetpacks on. Anyway, they're little dogs and they all have jobs and they live in a city. Here's the thing, though. Did you know that there was a little boy in that show? Because that just destroys my entire worldview. So there's a little boy in this world of where dogs have jobs. He's a little boy living in dog world?
Tosh, do you not know Paw Patrol?
Well, I mean, I know of the when did this come out though? I don't. This might have been before or like after my time.
This is after all of our time.
Oh, this is way after our time.
Okay,
this is like 2016 to now.
Program.
Literally, apart from seeing like a thumbnail for it once, I think, as I was scrolling through shows on Netflix or whatever. Like, I think that's my only exposure. Part helicopter? What?
They all have like little jetpacks. Yeah, I swear to God.
One of them's like a police officer, and one of them's like a fireman, and one of them's like a I don't know, ambulance driver.
But the girl is pink, and
none
I
of them
swear
work
to
at the
God,
grocery
she's just
store?
a helicopter. Like that's what her job is.
Oh my God! Oh,
like that's what she is. She helicopter.
Her job is helicopter.
Yeah. This show started airing in 2013.
Yeah.
That I was graduated from high school and already in college for a year. I do not know Paw Patrol.
But it is.
Paw Patrol was that old? I thought it was like 2017.
No, it's apparently been around for a minute. Like
It is the forefront of children's programming today. It is the cutting
That
edge
and Bluey.
of what is possible with children's programming in the 21st century. That's what Paw Patrol is.
What if we made a dog and we made him a cop right before we as a society started having a conversation about cops? Let's do that.
But one of them's a helicopter guy.
No, but here's the thing. Here's another twist about that, is that there is like a garbage man dog who's like in charge of all the garbage, and all they do is make fun of how stinky and gross and stupid he is.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
So that's another
rip.
fun layer onto this.
Rip.
So, hey, what's up, chat, by the way? We've begun. And already, right off the bat, we've got a few names that I do not recognize. Somebody named RK, somebody named Jack101 is the boss, which I've heard is true. I have heard that Jack101 is the boss before.
Is the boss?
Yeah.
Is he the
Joel
boss
Burnett.
baby? No, he's just the boss.
So, it's just welcome. Good to, I hope you hang around, because we're gonna get a little wild, a little crazy today.
We're gonna get a little crazy.
We're gonna be bad today.
Up.
It's just, we're gonna be bad.
Twitter.
We're gonna be
We're
bad.
gonna be bad. We're gonna let's get crazy. I want to
Okay,
get
okay.
You guys
Saturday.
wanna
Let's just get
Get
crazy.
a plate of fries for the table.
Let's split them.
Be bad.
Bad.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna abuse.
I'm a Peppa Pig
welcome
person, if
back.
I'm being honest.
Dan's back, by the
On
way.
Paw
Welcome
Patrol.
back, Dan.
Hello, Dan.
Hello.
Dan was in a
Dan,
horrible
what's your
accident.
favorite Paw
What's my
Patrol?
favorite what?
Your favorite Paw Patrol? What are they called? Patrollers?
ACAB. I don't deal
Dogs?
with that garbage.
See, Dan gets it.
But what
Dan
about the
knows.
fire?
Not all
There's
of
a
them are cops,
firefighter
though.
one and an ambulance driver one, a
It's
doctor
all
one,
connected,
maybe?
my dude.
It's all connected.
It's all a conspiracy, Jackson.
Okay, but
Listen
who's
to
your
my
favorite character on
podcast.
Peppa Pig?
The sheep that knows how to whistle.
Yeah. It's on. That is just the funniest thing that's ever been on the internet, and I stand by that.
What about Sid the Science Kid? How are we standing on Sid the Science Kid?
Oh, do you remember when Sid the Science Kid was like the forefront of like technology? Because it's all mocap. Do you remember
yeah, it's
that?
all motion capture. It's why they can
I have
make it for
no
memory
basically
of
no
that.
money.
Yeah.
Do you have like a younger sibling, Dan?
No, I am the younger sibling.
Well, that might
But
be.
I'm also
you
a
might be
middle
on the
school
cutoff.
teacher, so I have a lot of little kids siblings.
That's fair. I feel that. I feel you in that middle school zone because I work with middle school as well.
My girlfriend Anna is like a instructor at a daycare, so she works with like young kids to like middle elementary school age. But
Babies.
I am constantly asking her like what are the kids like? Like I'm fascinated by like what kids like nowadays. I'm always like, what kind of shows do you guys watch? Like
What are the kids into?
do they still do Blue's Clues? Do kids still like Blue's Clues? I'm like always checking to make sure that like, like kids still like Blue's Clues. Everything's okay with the world.
No, Blue's
Josh
Clues is out.
is the new
Siren
host of
Head
Blue's
and Fortnite are the only things allowed.
That's the thing.
okay?
She always says
Like-
that they like
Siren Head?
Siren Head very much.
No, that's all cringe. As what I know is that it's Minecraft, no Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
It's Minecraft. It's Among Us.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
Among Us, I feel like it's fizzling a bit though. I haven't heard
No,
much about it.
Keisha, they
There's-
just updated.
Yeah, there was a big.
They did.
like-
They did.
There's 100% no Nintendo. I know this because one of my students was having issues saying evolution, and I was like, "Come on, you know evolution, like Pokemon." And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "I learned English through Pokemon. That's the whole reason I'm a teacher." Like,
Pokemon's the reason you're alive, kid.
No, it's because scalpers. The kids can't get their hands on
That's
Pokemon
true,
cards
you're right.
anymore because of the scalpers.
because
They're
of the
hurting the
man
children. Yeah.
Goddamn scalpers.
Yeah.
But
'cause
they
I've-
do
I've, like,
love
mentioned
Attack on
before-
Titan and The Promised Neverland.
Oh, they should not be watching either of those.
They love cannibalism. What can I say?
God.
I've
Those.
like students recommend so many animes. Anime? Just one? Multiple animes?
Animus.
Animosities?
We should be careful
and
how
I
you pronounce
really-
that first vowel. I think
It's pronounced atrocities.
Attack on
Enemies.
Titan cities?
No, Jackson,
Yeah, I
that's
still-
gerrymandering.
Oh yeah, Howard Moving Castle. I love that one.
Oh.
That guy's great.
Howard's moving castle.
No, Howard. Howard Moving
Yeah,
Castle.
I'm a big fan of Poyo. Pollo?
Puyo.
The fish girl?
You know that movie Puyo Puyo
I don't
Tetris?
actually like Ponyo. Ponyo scares me a little
Wait,
bit.
how do you not like Ponyo,
Wait, they-
Keisha?
Wait, when did they
Keisha?
make
I
a
just don't like
Kirby
the way
movie?
she looks.
No,
I don't
she's
like
a
the way
cute
she
little
looks.
girl.
She's got
She's a
chicken
little girl
legs.
with
She's
a
not
round
cute.
tummy.
She has fish features. Fish aren't cute. They're gross.
Only for like a second.
No, they're good.
Keisha.
She's a cute
Grow
little
up.
fish.
It's for a lot of the movie. It's for a
she's-
lot of the movie.
She's
that
a
she
little
looks
fish with
like
a round
weird
tummy,
kid.
Keisha.
And
Did
she
I
likes
tell you my
ham,
Ponyo
and
song
she
that I
likes
wrote with my
Sosuke.
sister?
Keisha,
I mean-
Keisha,
Ponyo,
Keisha,
Ponyo.
don't you know? I feel like I need to mansplain Ponyo to you because, like, I feel like you don't even like understand. The thing about Ponyo is that Ponyo loves ham, and
This is
Ponyo loves Sasuke.
Mm-hmm.
But not the Sasuke you're thinking
I
of.
still don't like
Ponyo
the way.
loves revolution.
Yeah.
How can you,
Revolution.
wait, are you hearing me, Keisha?
Yeah, I hear you. I still
You're-
don't like the animation.
Is Discord
the
cutting
way
out? I
it
said
looks.
Ponyo loves
You don't
ham.
like animation, Keisha. I'm gonna come through the computer and strangle you in real life.
You remember
The
how
goof's
Jackson
over.
didn't like the way that Soul looked
I
the
don't.
whole movie? I just don't like the way Ponyo looks sometimes.
But does Jamie Foxx love ham in that movie? No. Ponyo does.
Jamie Foxx loves a lot of other stuff in that movie. Pizza,
Yeah.
walking, the sun, jazz.
He does love jazz.
Ponyo loves
It is
jazz.
valid to love ham.
Ponyo-
Ham is a
when
part
does-
of
when does
life.
Ponyo voice her love of jazz?
Ponyo loves jazz. It's in the post
That's
credits.
not canonical.
Ponyo loves
Oh, I-
jazz.
She
the
and her
post-credit.
dad, C. Bowie, go to a jazz club and they
Oh my
meet Soul.
God. He is C. Bowie. I can't.
And
See,
she's
that's
like-
who
this.
22
and they're like-
actually is. She's actually Ponyo.
Ponyo. She goes to Earth and
And then
becomes
Ponyo says, Ponyo's like, it's dying. It's a dying art, Mia. And I, Ponyo, must save all of jazz as a white man.
And then she
I
goes
love
to
all-
LA to be an actress, and she gives up on her dreams, but she's like happier.
Yeah, she
Or
gives up
is
on her dreams
she?
of
Dun,
becoming
dun,
a
dun.
baker.
Okay.
There's
I'm
a
trying to
weird
make a
amount
joke
of
of like La La Land, but it's Ponyo, and all I can think of is Pon Pon Land, and I don't think that's good.
Yo-Yo
There's-
Land.
there's sure
Yo-Yo
a lot
Land.
of Studio Ghibli movies that start with a somewhat interesting female lead and let you get about halfway through when the sex man comes in. And whether that is Cat Returns or Ponyo or Howl's Moving Castle.
Excuse me,
So
excuse me.
it's a
Hello,
weird
Dan.
amount.
Are you the sex man? Are you talking about Ponyo's father?
Yes.
Is that your sex man?
Yes. And I'm shocked to even hear the question.
Whose man's is this? Well, it's Dan.
I don't-
Dan's
Huh?
sex man.
I don't like the question and I won't answer it.
What's funny is you had more of a reaction to that than you did to the Cat Returns.
Yeah.
Yeah, but listen.
I guess that ship has sailed for me. It's just what's to be expected.
Ugh.
No.
This is one-on-one stuff.
Yeah.
Let's rank the Studio Ghibli sex men.
Yes. Which
Um,
is also the name of my new band.
Studio Ghibli
Number
sex
one,
men.
the black ooey gooey boys from Howl's Moving Castle, obviously.
First.
Obviously,
That's
number
my
one.
number one.
The dog with a human nose, number two.
The Spider Boy in that's Spirited Away, right? Where there's the spider guy in the furnace.
I wouldn't say boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a man.
Man.
He's a man.
He's a man,
Well, he's a
Jackson.
sex
He's a man. He's an old
He's
man.
a sex man,
Elderly,
obviously.
elderly fellow.
The frog who only wants gold. Sex man.
That's a
Yeah,
sex
yeah,
man.
The
yeah.
dad who
Yeah,
turns
yeah.
into a
Yeah, yeah.
pig.
Ooh, that's a good sex man.
Okay.
Pig form.
Okay,
In
no.
pig
Like
form,
that
obviously.
scene where he's like choking on food and he's slowly becoming a pig and he like chokes on his own tongue and it's the worst thing ever. Sex man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, I'm gonna give an unironic one here. The baker husband in Kiki's Delivery Service.
Mm.
No, you're right.
Good
You're
sex
right.
man.
You're 100% right.
Yeah, he
Sex man.
provides for his family.
He treats
He obviously
you right.
can get stuff done. Pregnante wife.
And what those hands do though?
The
They're
husband
strong.
of the lady
saying.
in A Castle in the Sky who like flexes his shirt off. Sex
Yes,
Man.
that
Oh,
was
right, the
literally
guy-
the next dude I was about to
Yeah.
say. Oh my god.
Yep. Uh-huh.
We are on the same wavelength. I'm so happy.
The spirit god from Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
Sex Man.
The deer?
Also,
I just
Dan.
don't understand how we're not discussing the Baron from The Cat Returns.
Oh, the Baron.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I thought you were
that was-
gonna.
I
I thought you were
never
gonna
let
say
my-
the Porco Rosso.
Oh no, yeah, that's
Alvina.
that's too easy.
Mr.
hadn't
Mistopheles,
let my
the
phone
railway
Mr.
cat.
No.
Skimbleshanks the railway
Sex
cat,
Man.
Adeline.
Gimbleshanks the railway cat.
I'm talking about their son that they have together, Mr. Mistopheles,
When did
the
they have
railway
a
cat.
son?
He's named after one of his fathers.
Yeah, I
and he
guess
took
so.
the
Named
job of
after
his
both
other
of his
father.
I guess Mistopheles is his last name, so I guess their son would still be named Mr. Mistopheles.
Yeah, so get fucked, Jackson.
could
My
also-
fanfiction stands.
And he could also be a railway cat, I suppose. So I guess that's
Yeah.
fair.
Hey Tash.
Tune in on AO3 for the next installment of Mr. Mistopheles, the railway cat.
Tash, would you believe that I created Vertigo having not seen The Cat Returns and then saw The Cat Returns and then freaked out a lot?
Are you kidding me? Wait, what?
Look at this.
No, I've seen the cat
I
return.
hadn't
You
seen the
didn't.
movie until way after I came up with our character.
Oh my fucking god.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
In our other,
That's really fair.
If I can go ahead and plug our D&D podcast, Cosmonaut
Please
Tabletop.
do.
There is a character that I play named Vertigo, and he's dressed exactly like the Baron from The Cat Returns. However, I saw The Cat Returns probably a good 16 months after creating my character.
yeah. Like.
Is he a
even-
tabaxi?
No, he is a dragon.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
But,
okay,
But
I
I mean,
see.
like down to
But
the
it's-
white suit and top
Yep.
hat, like specifically, like
Yes.
it
Yeah.
is scary.
It's really
and
good.
Just the
accurate.
swagger.
It's a good look.
The
Yep.
Cat
You just have good
Returns.
style.
The Cat Returns is an adaptation of The Cat in the Hat Comes Back, right?
Yes.
Okay, just
Yeah.
checking. I wanted to make sure I had that straight. So hey, before we start the show in earnest, talking about Godzilla v Kong, I'm just gonna take a look at the chat because we have a lot of new friends. We've got many new friends.
People.
We've got Walmart Greeter and Charlie Ruiz and Sanjeev Prague, which I am 80% sure I pronounced it correctly. Just lots of good
It's
friends
French.
in the chat talking about Saxmen.
Is Kong here?
Let's see. I haven't
Can
seen
I actually
Kong in the
Kong?
chat.
Did anybody
He
invite Kong?
RSVP'd. He said he was going to be here.
I
Mm,
mean,
he-
speaking of Kong, if you haven't checked out our latest Twitter post, I put out a poll about who you think the best big boy is. And most people are voting for Godzilla, and it's
As
making
they
me
should.
mad.
Wait,
so
No, as
wait,
they
wait,
should.
if
wait.
you
Excuse me?
would,
I thought Mothra
If
would
you
fucking walk
would-
away with that thing.
please go
I-
vote for our young boy.
Our
Girl,
big,
Am I allowed to vote?
lovable,
Mothra.
fluffy boy who
Queen,
just wants
Queen
his
of
family
Mothra.
back. He's not
posthumously winning best big boy.
just a big
Mothra.
boy.
They are somebody in the chat.
Out
They
of
are
respect
screaming
for
for
the
us to talk
dead.
about cats.
See, here's the thing.
I
I
would
haven't
love to talk
seen
about
the film
cats.
yet. I have not watched a frame of Cats.
I saw cats on Christmas Day in the movie theaters. So
I've
Because
seen
I
Cats
haven't,
twice.
I cannot watch Cats by myself. I have to watch Cats with a group of people I can scream with, and no one has invited me over to a group event to watch Cats. So I've been sad by myself, waiting for friends to invite me to watch Cats with them, and no one has done it.
My final movie
I mean,
theater
the
experience
only time
before
you
COVID
could watch.
was a screening of Cats at the college campus I was at, where it was
Oh my
quite
God.
rowdy, and it was wonderful. It was so beautiful. I wore my cat shirt, and we all booed at Idris Elba every time he came on screen, and people
Yeah,
gasped in shocked amazement every time he disappeared and made weird meow noises. And balked in horror
Yeah,
at
look
Ian
how
McKellen.
Oh my god. It's really good. Yeah, see, I haven't had an opportunity like that, so I haven't watched the movie. I'm not gonna watch Cats by myself. You fucking kidding me?
You're breaking my
mortal
heart.
frame.
My heart quarter productions.
This
Voting for
one's
Godzilla.
Kong. He's the big boy, and he just wants his family, and he just wants to protect people. They keep saying that Godzilla wants to protect people. Godzilla doesn't give a single fuck, and we all know that.
Oh yeah, Godzilla don't care.
One.
He's just doing his thing. He's a big old lizard though.
Millie Bobby Brown is like, oh, Godzilla loves us. He was our friend. Godzilla was never your friend, Millie Bobby Brown. I hate to break it to you. You're the worst part of this movie, and Godzilla is not your friend.
So I'm gonna
listen,
hop in
kid,
here.
you need to go watch yourself some Crocodile Hunter and get back to me, okay? No. You can appreciate the Godzilla, but don't muck with them, is how Steve would always say it.
Did
Rest
Steve
in peace,
Irwin
Steve Irwin.
talk a lot about Godzilla?
He did.
No, but he
Talk a
talked
lot
about
met him,
crocodiles.
yes.
Yeah.
He was best friends
Yes.
with him and would be on there all the time. Yeah.
Godzilla.
Crikey.
Godzilla.
Oi.
I would
Um,
love to see Steve Irwin meet Godzilla in the next reboot. Just saying.
So hey, I'm just gonna hop in here and say hi. What's up? My name's Jackson McMurray.
Hey, what's up? My name is Adeline McMurray, and I am on Team Kong. I think Kong and Bella are the best together.
Yeah.
My name is Kezia Rhodes, and I'm gonna take Team Godzilla for this round.
Whoa.
What the Kezia?
I'm here to stir that pot, baby.
If
You
don't
guys can
mean it,
introduce
you
yourself
can't
too
commit.
if you want.
Yeah, no. Hi, I'm Tosh, aka TaschDraws, whatever. I am Team Godzilla till I die,
Whoa.
and I will not stand for any fake fans to be. I'm kidding. Yeah, no. Team Godzilla, defo.
I'm Coda or Dan, and I'm Team Gravity, which really takes a back seat in this film.
He does.
I didn't say what team I was on. You guys always come up with the bits after I do my
Gravity
first
is
one.
an anti-hero.
What team are you on,
Jackson,
Jackson?
you
I'm
gotta
on
start- you
team.
gotta
Okay,
start the
look.
culture.
I'm on Team Mechagodzilla, not only because he's cool, but also because I think he's correct.
On that note, spoilers for
Whoa!
potential spoilers for this discussion.
Yes, we are spoiling
I
this
actually
movie.
I'm on Team Mothra, but she's not in this movie, so
I think
She's
Mothra.
dead?
I think
Question
Mothra
mark?
is more correct than Mechagodzilla, but does not appear in the film.
She does not.
Mothra is the
R.I.P.
pure
Mothra.
embodiment of love.
So
She
hey, and
deserves everything.
What about King Kong and his big, doofy, sad eyebrows, Keisha?
so yeah, and I just want to say for
I
people
know.
listening,
I was just trying to stir the pot.
we will be spoiling this movie. We're going to talk about it in its entirety. It's available to everybody on HBO for free. I mean, for the price of the subscription to HBO.
If you own HBO Max,
Which is
then you
not
can
free.
watch it.
Right, but
So-
with this, it's not an extra fee like on Disney Plus.
I think you can call HBO and just say, I really want to watch it. And I think they just let you
Look
do
at the
that.
screener.
Yeah, like as long as you just like
Or
give them a
if
heads
you-
up, like, yo, I'm gonna be watching Godzilla versus Kong. They're like, oh yeah,
my-
okay.
At my home box office.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you go to Dan's Twitter and you're like, hey, I really want to watch Kong vs. Godzilla, please, and then he'll give you his password. That's what I did, and it worked. So
Yeah.
Yep.
that's what I.
Wait, did you get Dan's HBO password?
Yeah, I did. No, I have my own.
Oh, I was like, we have one. Why didn't you ask us? Okay.
Nah, I used my own money for that ish.
Got it. Okay.
This-
First one.
So I have a lot
heist
to
for
say.
Dan's HBO password is gonna turn into the fucking next national treasure. It's like, I'm here to steal the Declaration of Independence and also your HBO, Dan.
Dan's HBO password.
Like I got in the next
I-
30 days. I
Profile,
gotta see
guess
it.
who?
Guys, I was really disappointed at the Mechagodzilla reveal. I didn't know anything about it going in, but I did have a feeling about Mechagodzilla. I'm not
Mhm.
not trying to brag.
He was kind of the
Uh,
final frontier of these legendary Godzilla movies.
Yeah, I mean, you go
Wow.
into this and you're like, obviously, it's not really Kong versus Godzilla. It's Kong versus Godzilla for like half the movie, and then they have a common enemy, right?
Right.
That's
right,
how
yeah.
it
Yeah.
always
That's how
goes.
it-
Even
that's
when
how
it's
They have to
not.
be friends at the end of the movie.
Even when it's
Yeah.
just a King Kong or just a Godzilla movie, they team up with the humans or they fight the big, whatever. But
They
I
don't trust us to pay attention.
really, I like at the moment that they reveal Mechagodzilla, I was just like, oh, that's extremely disappointing because, and I was pitching it to Jackie as I was watching it with her, and I said what they should have done is because everybody's so confused as to why Godzilla is so angry and so mean at the beginning of this movie. And yes, you guys are 100% correct. He's not our friend. However, if he was our friend, this would be really weird and out of character. But imagine this. You have all these unexplained attacks from Godzilla. You can kind of say, like, oh, well, he's fighting because Kong and all these things. And then, like, halfway through the movie, you just see Kong, like, just really get a good hit on Godzilla. And then the camera just stays where it's at. Godzilla turns at the camera, and then you just see, like, fucking cyborg eye. And then just slowly the layers just start to peel off, and it's just Mechagodzilla underneath a fake skin. And then Godzilla actually comes out.
Oh my god, why didn't they do
Why didn't they do that? I don't know.
Instead of doing this Five Nights at Freddy's looking ass bullshit that they did. I hate the
No, he looks like he's
design.
straight bionicle. That's what he looks like.
It's very Robert Rodriguez.
Thank you. Oh my
Instead,
god.
they assert that Ghidorah is smarter than any AI because he has 3 heads.
Yes, true.
And therefore they're able
not
to
even
plug
Ghidorah.
him into a robot.
Oh god, don't even get me
Ghidorah's
started.
skull
on the
that's
pseudo.
smarter.
Okay. I want to do some sort
Which
of
is
setup.
also, like,
Oh, go ahead, Keisha.
it's just not how that's not how robots work. They're
No.
like, we used the skull of this telepathic big boy, and so now our human can control robot. That's just how it works. Apparently.
Yeah, but you had
Science.
to put the human inside the skull.
Yes.
Does that matter?
So that he can
Inside the
control it.
skull. Yes.
Aesthetic, you
Otherwise,
know?
that's where the brain goes, Dan. That's where the
In a
brain is.
room with
so
no
that's
That's
guard.
where
how-
the guy goes.
in a
Um,
room
with no guards, no
completely
security.
separate from
That Millie Bobby
No
Brown and her
people, no
stupid
cameras.
annoying friends can just crawl right into.
Yeah, easily reachable from the sacrifice garage.
Yeah.
Sacrifice Garage.
So
Oh
okay.
my
Next door,
God.
obviously.
Sacrifice Garage is my favorite indie band.
It really is.
I want to
Oh, but
do.
you didn't like Arctic Monkey's appearance in this one?
Good one.
What
All
were you
right.
saying, Jackson?
I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna do sort of the thing that I like to do on the show, which is to just sort of tell the story of the movie. Right? We've been all in on these legendary kaiju movies on this podcast. First one, Godzilla, 2013, 14. We always mess it up.
We still don't know.
Gareth Edwards.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Super fucking grounded, gritty, realistic take on Godzilla. Gareth Edwards may be the most talented VFX director in the game right now. So good at making Godzilla feel real and huge and fucking scary as fuck. But the thing about it is that that movie is also quite boring. Both of those things are true at the same time.
Yes.
Which one was this again? You said 2013?
Yeah, 2013 or 2014.
Okay. Because I don't think I've
2014.
seen that one, and I'm curious what you think of that one versus Shin
It's-
Godzilla.
I
after you're
think it
done.
is directorially great. I think the special effects in it are phenomenal, and I love the way Godzilla feels in it. I think the movie as a whole is pretty fucking boring. That's my take on it.
She's dragon tails. She is dragon the tail.
He is Dragon Tales.
And
And
we
then-
got singers today.
So Godzilla is produced by Universal Studios. And at some point, the rights to Godzilla as a film franchise got bought out by Warner Brothers. Same Chinese production company, Legendary Pictures, is attached to all of these, but the American distribution is switching hands. And when
Chinese production company was my nickname in high school. Also, fun fact.
you did produce a lot in high school, but
Anyway,
so now that Warner Brothers has Godzilla, that's when they decide to retroactively make that Godzilla movie a franchise starter into this cinematic universe. In the single moment in history when everybody and their brother wanted a cinematic universe before all of them failed in one way or another, basically.
Right.
And weirdly, these kaiju movies have sort of become like, besides Marvel and DC, obviously, have basically become the only prospective cinematic universe that actually came to some sort of fruition.
Oh yeah.
And so their first thing, Warner Brothers, is like, okay, so here's our first spin-off of Godzilla leading up. They pretty much say up front, they're like, we're going to go Kong, we're going to go Godzilla 2, we're going to go Godzilla versus Kong. They say that in like 2015 whenever they're starting this whole thing. They come out with Kong Skull Island, which is a secret masterpiece that nobody likes, but it's the best movie ever.
Amazing.
So good.
Great movie. Kong Skull Island.
Nobody from that movie
boy.
Fucks so hard. Kong Skull Island gang, rise up.
Big beautiful boy.
But so they do that, and then they're like, okay, 2 years later, Godzilla 2. Weird. It's very, because the thing, I'm fascinated by the stylistic discrepancies between these four movies. Because I described what Godzilla feels like, and Kong is less like that. It's a lot more stylized. It's a lot more colorful. It's a lot more sort of action heavy than it is just sort of like spectacle heavy, if that makes sense. There's a lot more like physical motion in Kong Skull Island than there is in Godzilla. So that's what that movie kind of feels like. And then Godzilla 2 is very much riffing on the original Godzilla, where all of the action is based very much around the scope and the size, and like, you know, they move slow because they're these enormous creatures that take up real physical space, you know. But that movie is also like super fucking dour and depressing and moody in a way that I think really kills the buzz for me. And it's just like, what if we took like the idea of a disaster movie and we made it about climate change, but like not actually about climate change, just sort of used the aesthetics of climate change and just made you think about climate change the whole time you were watching it. And to which I say,
and then we fix climate change at the end.
Yeah, to which I would say, no thanks, I'd rather not. But so that's where we're at with that one. Pretty bad. Nobody really likes it. But what's interesting about Godzilla vs. Kong, what we're ramping up to, this is sort of what they always knew they were ramping up to. This is sort of the culmination they've been looking for, and is, at least right now, pretty much the end of this thing. They haven't announced any more sequels. They haven't announced any further continuations, any more kaiju movies from this franchise. So
the next one is the Peach,
right? Which I want to get into. I want to get into on this episode, but I'm saving it for a very particular moment.
I think I know which one you're talking about, because I was also thinking about that.
Okay, so
oh my god,
I'm very excited.
The world is ending.
So, but this,
we need.
I hope you know that both of you just told me that you both have loaded guns just now at the table that we're all sitting at. I hope you know that. So that's just gonna. That's
that's how you make a movie interesting, Adeline.
Yeah, you have a gun,
screenwriting 101,
and then you put it back on the mantle.
But which I just think is interesting, because all of these movies have performed decently, but none of them have been runaway box office successes as of yet. So I think they're rightly like, we kind of rode this thing out as long as we can. I don't know, like this isn't growing. This is just sort of a stagnant line. So it, as of right now, it doesn't seem like they're making any more. This movie's doing pretty well, though, at least in context, because this is kind of the first movie that people are comfortable going to see in theaters. Like, we're at a point where a lot of people are getting vaccinated, and this movie is coming out at just the right time, that it's like the first wave of people being comfortable stepping in that building again, and it's already grossing spectacularly more than any other movie basically that's come out during the pandemic. Like, it really feels like a signal that's like, we're popping back in here pretty much now.
So basically they're cheating.
I mean, kind of. Yeah, they're kind of cheating. I don't think they're cheating. I think they just got lucky. I think they just they had this release date out for however long, and it just happened to be that particular moment, that like one particular moment with this whole HBO Max deal where it's like, now we got it, and like it's the first like franchise blockbuster since Wonder Woman 1984, and before that since
I forgot about that movie.
Fucking Invisible Man, I guess. Like, it's been so long since we've had like half decent like franchise movie, and people are excited about it. People want to go in, like, even if there's not that much goodwill for this franchise, they're just like, let me fucking see Godzilla v Kong. I'll get back in that IMAX theater because I just got my second shot, and I'll watch them beat the shit out of each other, and it's working pretty well for them so far.
It's like when you eat something gross or
what
you're
I did.
having to like deal with something terrible, and it's like the moment that you don't have to do that, or like you eat a half decent meal after eating gross food. It's like, it's not that the meal is that much better, but purely because you just ate something so terrible, you're like, oh my god, thank you. And just like, it's like I don't know, the relative feeling,
relative
of it
tastiness.
Versus,
Yeah. So my, just jumping into Godzilla versus Kong, I would say, before we kind of devolve, I would like to say my big thesis for this movie, like my opinion, is that all the stuff with the little girl and her mom and the researchers, like working with Kong and getting Kong so they can get the power source, is all super good. Like, I love what they're doing. I like the characters. I think they're very likable. I love watching Kong and Godzilla beat the shit out of each other. I like making Kong be sad. I love that. A++. And then we get to the part where Millie Bobby Brown and her dumb friends stumble through high security, high-tech places with people walking around, and nobody knows them, and nobody notices them, and they're just so unfunny and uncharming and so annoying. And then they find Mechagodzilla, and then they do nothing, and then they pour a drink on a half-exploded computer. That whole thing, F minus. That's where
Dead
I'm
wife,
at.
alcohol.
Yes.
Dude, yeah, listen.
Destroy computer.
I haven't been very vocal about it, mostly because if you get me started on this train, I will not shut up for the rest of the night. But as someone who used to work, like, Geek Squad, just basic computer repair, like, just basic familiarity with computers, I cannot begin to tell you my list of grievances with all that shit in, but like, yeah, the pouring alcohol on the supercomputer in particular was just like, God, I hate everything.
In the building that's already half exploded, that's what does it. It's just like, normally I would say that's like, oh, that's CinemaSins-y, but like, no, it took me out of it so much. So I was like, all right, this is fucking stupid. And that's how they stop Mechagodzilla? Fuck you.
Even
like,
though he's
no,
not,
it
like,
doesn't.
even, like, there's no reason to believe he's connected to that computer at all. Like, what does that computer even have to do with Mechagodzilla?
Yeah, like, the whole part where it gets
nothing,
free,
Jackson.
I thought was kind of like, oh, okay, it's no longer a slave to the controls.
Oh my god.
No, it was Rodan's
was.
ghost in Mechagodzilla.
But
that's
also,
what it was.
It didn't make a difference anyway, because it was already like controlling itself, and then King Kong just chopped him up with his little axe. He said, choppity chop chop.
Yes.
You're dead, I guess. Oh, and then he also ripped his head off.
He did, and he didn't eat it that time. You know? I was worried he was gonna eat it.
You know that thing that Godzilla does where he'll like chew on the severed head, and so then like he shoots his fire breath through the head? He does that.
Yes.
But King Kong
But
can't
that
do
moment where Mechagodzilla is trying to open up Godzilla's mouth so that it can do that, that part slaps. That's cool.
It's so good because it's like it's trying to do the Godzilla thing, and Godzilla's like, "Fuck you, dude! I am Godzilla, motherfucker." It's good.
I invented that.
Newsflash, pal. To support your thesis, I 100% agree, and I feel like this movie was the best parts of Skull Island mixed with the worst parts of Godzilla.
That's a perfect assessment.
Yes.
Like the group of explorers that are well intentioned but end up being steered wrongly by like a government agent or a corporation or people looking for power, and then it's like, you know, it's like you guys said earlier with the momentum of the Kong movie from Skull Island. Like there's a lot of momentum behind it. Like and literally at a point where like there is actual like deathly momentum. But and then with the Godzilla thing, it did still feel like Godzilla. It was just kind of the worst parts of it, where it's like, how is it okay that people can just kind of move around wherever they want, while the city just basically takes a beating, and you just watch this whole place degrade with time.
Right.
So like, whereas like King Kong is like watching a bulldozer at a like, you know, monster truck rally, whereas Godzilla is like watching a really sad time lapse of like a city slowly just disintegrating. Both are fine. I'm not saying
Which
one's
are good
better
for
than the
different
other.
reasons.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like you were saying. Like, I mean, they're like completely different styles. So like and when they come together, and you're just like, Kong is not supposed to be that big, and Godzilla is not supposed to be that small, and what is happening? Like,
Yeah.
it's just I had no idea going into this movie what relative sizes were going to look like.
Right.
I knew
yeah.
I was going to be confused no matter what, and I was still confused more than I was expecting to be.
Because he's big
I guess
now.
that's the
He
nature
wasn't
of
as big in
confusion.
Kong Skull Island because he was a horny teen, and now
He
he's
was
a
a baby.
full-grown
Yeah.
man, and he's got
And
reading
now
There is
he's
that-
an
there is
old
that
man with an
throwaway
amazing
line.
old man beard.
I forgot there
Yeah.
was that throwaway
Brie
line on the
Larson,
boat where
or
they're like,
whoever.
"Oh, he got bigger."
He did get bigger.
Got big
There's also a
'cause he was
throwaway line
baby.
in Kong Skull Island where
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah.
he's still little, so we don't know how big he'll get. Whoa.
The,
And
the,
it's
the
Godzilla.
two
It's
throwaway
Godzilla.
lines combine in midair to make some sort of
Makes
plot
some
point.
sort of sense.
They combine
The
to
sen-
make
the-
sense.
But
The
yeah,
same
I
kind of
think
sense that pouring alcohol in a supercomputer makes. Like
More
to
sense
get-
than that.
It's to get the Robo Ghost drunk, obviously.
Yeah,
That is-
obviously.
okay.
Breathalyze him. He's just really tipsy now.
Oh, you can't fight anymore, bro. You're too drunk. That's against the rules.
Here's
Yeah,
my
you just see him swinging and he just can't connect a single punch.
God,
What-
that would
what
make
is
so much sense if they're like, oh, we got him drunk. Have fun,
we got-
guys.
we got
He's
Mechagodzilla
ass.
drunk.
Yeah.
Okay,
Consider, though-
here's my grand pitch on this movie. I hear you when you say you like the Rebecca Hall little girl King Kong sign language stuff. To me, I say, if I were handed this script, first things first, not only does this movie have so much baggage from the other Godzilla movies that it has to take into account as they're writing this script, but
Yeah.
according to Wikipedia, I want to read you a list of names of people who don't necessarily have writing credits, but a list of people who contributed to this script, okay?
oh my god.
Patrick McKay, J.D. Payne, Lindsay Beer, Kat Vasco, T.S. Nowlin, Jack Panglin, J. Michael Straczynski, Eric Pearson, Max Borenstein, Michael Dougherty, Zach Shields, and director Adam Wingard. That's how many cooks are in this kitchen, okay?
So that's a
people was that
director and a
total?
board of directors.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many people total was that?
That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
6 or 9.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people.
12
Wow,
people
that is
that
a
have
dozen.
never touched a computer before. Cool, got it.
But so I
That's
That's
think
one for each
Insulting
egg in
here.
a carton.
I truly think all the stuff that's trying to here's what I think about this movie. This movie doesn't want to explain anything, which is correct. They should not be explaining anything, I think.
Yeah, please do not try to explain
The
it.
problem is that it sort of disdainfully tries to explain
Yes.
some things.
Yes,
Like,
and the things
50%
that really
of things.
shouldn't be.
Yeah. 50% of things get half-assed explanations, which is the worst part. I either need everything to be fully coherent and make sense in a satisfying way, or just shut the fuck up.
Right.
Like, those
Yeah.
are
Also,
your options.
Like, I
They
don't
don't even
really
explain
care
their own jokes.
how. Like, it doesn't matter to me how they made, like, a heave. They're like, we invented this vehicle that can go into hollow earth. And
Right.
do you want to know why we had to do that? Because gravity is dangerous. Because I don't really care. I can surmise that it would be expensive for you to create this vehicle, but now you have it. I don't need to know the schematics of, and it's this is why, because the gravity reverses for half of a second, but then you're in the middle of the planet and blah blah blah,
You're
blah, blah. Like, I don't,
okay.
it's fine.
And this
we
annoying
got it,
ass
we
rich
got it.
girl has to say, "You
But then-
monkey," and I'm here for daddy's money for 20 minutes before she rightfully gets exploded.
Mhm.
Or they'll
I
be
hate her
like,
so
But
much.
he had
oh my
faith
gosh,
in her.
Kong did have a
He did.
family.
Here's my punch
my
up. Here's
God.
what I would do if I were handed this script. I think this movie works as a silent movie. Maybe not a silent movie, but at least a non-verbal movie. I think you could keep the same story. I think you could keep the same generalized plot. I think you could keep the same characters, the same events, the same settings. I think you do away with every line of dialogue that the people have, and you just rejigger it so that it's a little bit more expressive, and you cut most of the stuff that they actually do out. Obviously, Millie Bobby Brown and company do not do anything in the movie literally at all. They do not exist in the movie anymore. And I think
Thank God.
If you cut out a lot of the stuff with Rebecca Hall and Alexander Skarsgård, I think that you are left with a story that has 4 agencies, sort of. Four characters, quote unquote. But none of them function as typical characters. They're just sort of agents of action. In the same way that Kong and Godzilla already are in this movie. They're not people, they're not characters, they don't necessarily have, like, motivations in the same way that a human character does. I think if you treat the people trying to, like, the good guys and the, like, evil corporate bad guys making Mechagodzilla in the same way that you treat Godzilla and Kong, like, don't try to narrow in on specific individual characters. Don't try to like, you know, manufacture explanations and emotion and, like, individualized character beats. Just present them as an organization, as sort of like a faceless agency. I think this movie works just as a generalized idea in that way, you know? We talked about in our Godzilla episode about a line from a review that David Ehrlich wrote about the first Godzilla movie and how it registers as a post-human blockbuster. And I think that is what this could be. I think if you strip the humanity away from it and treat the humans like animals, sort of, as just sort of a broadly drawn, vague, you know, set of events within this, like, big, primal, animalistic conflict, that's what I would want to do. That would be my pitch.
Jackson, I think that's very galaxy-brained art house that the world is just not ready for.
I didn't say anybody would let me make it.
I don't know.
I was just saying that that's what I would do.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, exception proving the rule, I did like the King Kong communicating, actually having basically lines with sign language. I did like that. It did not have the same effect as the Pokemon movie remake where Pikachu talks. It did not do that.
Is that what you're talking about, the Netflix one?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. God, I need to see that.
Wait, does he talk in that one?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We gotta, maybe we skip over a few and we do that
only
with Tabby
only
next.
real fans.
Only fans.
But you know, if you're just like, if you're willing to water down your idea a little bit, I really feel like, look at simplistic movies like Iron Giant, and then look at how the military works in that one. Like,
right.
If Apex Industries worked the same way that, like, the military in Iron Giant worked, it would be very simple, animalistic,
that's kind
like,
of exactly
single-minded,
yeah.
and that would be great. Yeah, I see exactly what you mean. I think that would be perfect. I'm so sick of every Jurassic Park and every Godzilla and everything having the same exact plot. I obviously understand taking a billionaire CEO and making them the villain, and I'm not asking them to make a hero out of one of them, because that would be an oxymoron, but it would be nice for a change up, you know, like, I don't know, maybe have, like, the scientist be the bad guy for once or something like that. Like, but no, it's always motivated by money, and it's always motivated by testosterone, and half the time your giant monster ends up being a powerful woman anyway.
Right.
So, like, the whole Godzilla portion of this movie left me wanting. However, that everything Kong was, it was just so stupid and so good.
Amazing.
It was the right kind of stupid. Right. I don't know why whoever had the axe before Kong decided to leave the axe next to the axe hole. That's kind of like leaving the launch
handprints
codes
where
to
he
the
looks at
nuke.
his own hand and then
Yeah.
pushes on the door.
And then they basically leave the
No,
launch codes to the nuclear device next to the nuclear device, which is I don't know why the axe was in a rock
Skull.
next to the slot where the axe goes, and then it makes a picture of Godzilla. And then if you take a little bit of the water from the picture of Godzilla, the planet explodes, but not really.
Well, because that's the thing, right?
No, the
Hollow
planet
Earth
doesn't
caves in without
explode. They
caving
get
in.
the power. They get the source to control Mechagodzilla, and then Mechagodzilla's
Here's
got that little
Okay,
rock
so they
power.
get that energy source. So they go and they get that energy source, and basically what they do is they turn it into an MP3 wave file,
Yes,
and then
yes,
they
yeah.
email it back home, and
That
then they
was the
just
missing
make,
piece.
and then they just make it, and then they just
Right.
make
Some
it
rock
there,
juice.
Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing.
also-
Like, in this movie where everybody's constantly just blasting exposition at you all the time, trying to explain things that will never make sense because they don't need to. Like, you're in that mindset of being like, they're trying to make this make sense. And then you show up in the middle of the Hollow Earth and there's a throne there where Kong picks up a staff through which he, I guess, like, rightfully rules Middle Earth or whatever. And instantly it makes you be like, what the fuck? That
It's
doesn't-
flat Earth.
like, what is that? Like, what does that mean? Who made that? Why is it here? What's going on?
No, you're not
I
getting
don't
it.
care,
But,
Jackson.
but exactly, but
Because
like,
home.
if you're
Because
like,
home.
oh, we don't explain any of this, we're just taking you along for the ride. If nothing is explained, if you're just seeing things, maybe if there isn't even any dialogue, like I think would be cool, you just
Yeah.
accept it. You'd be like, that's weird and interesting, and that's part of
All
it
the
is that
twists
we
and
don't know.
turns would
Yeah,
be bizarre in a good way. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it should be an oddity. It's a monster
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. If
May
if you
I
want-
may I speak to a few things that I found a little off-putting about this flick?
Are you going
Please.
to talk about how they killed the
I only have
native
a
people
couple.
off screen?
Well,
Every single
I
one of
did
them.
want to talk about that because that is gross.
Right.
That they were like, yeah, we had all of these indigenous people and we didn't treat them very well in our first movie. So we figured we'd just kill all of them off, and the
Off-screen,
ones
And
we'll
that
just-
we leave behind
We'll
can't
just keep
speak.
one cute one.
They're
Yeah.
not even monster
One
related.
cute one that says no words. Not to say that sign language isn't a language, but I do find it a little off-putting that they just are like,
Yeah.
you know, you brown little girl, we're gonna
She's
give
the
you
only one who
one
can talk to
thin
yeah.
It was
What?
also
She's the only one who
American
can talk
Sign
to
Language,
Kong.
which
They
is not
give
the only
her-
form of sign language. So
Mhm. Yeah, yep, yes. They give her a little leather band to show that she's native or
Right.
indigenous or not white.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So that's kind of not my fave thing. But then also, they have Millie Bobby Brown's team be like very into conspiracy theories for some reason, which
Right.
in a
Yeah.
post-COVID QAnon world is not
Mm.
something I want the hero of the story to be super
Right.
That
into.
scene where they
Like, they-
compare drinking tap water
Yeah.
to being a Nazi.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're like, the
Uh,
fluoride makes you weak. You shouldn't
Yeah,
be
I-
drinking tap water.
I really would have liked if Millie like looked to Josh after like saying that and be like, "Don't worry, I'm just telling him what he wants to hear," or something like that would have been nice.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
No.
trying to simultaneously play goofy conspiracy theories for jokes while also having them be right about everything that's important. You know, which is
Yeah,
like you
that's
can't do
exactly.
at the same time.
You
you can't.
Yeah, where it's like he's right, but he's also spewing other just stupid, crazy nonsense. Is that right also? Where they get to the place, they're like, oh, this was built by lizard people. Anyway, it's like, haha, but you can't just throw that in there when you've been right the
Yeah.
whole time. You know, it's stupid.
Right.
It's bad. I hate them.
Didn't they say he was literally bathing in bleach or something?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
the
man.
That's how
fuck?
they find him.
Like,
Hey guys,
That's how they
don't do
find
it.
him.
Don't do that. Just a quick
Yeah.
PSA.
Yeah, just
oh
don't
yeah,
fucking do
hey,
that.
do we
Uh,
want a quick disclaimer? I'll do the disclaimer real quick. No Nerds Allowed podcast does not condone using bleach for anything other than cleaning products, and in no way should you put it in contact with your body. Thank you.
Also,
Yeah.
like,
You know
tap water
that
is
when you-
probably fine to drink.
No, I learned this the other day. Did you know when
Probably.
you like get your hair dyed and you take a shower, they're like, don't pee in the shower, and they're like, haha, whatever. But no, the bleach from your hair and the pee that you peed into the shower makes mustard gas, and you
ammonia.
will kill yourself that way.
God,
Right.
I forgot about that.
Wow.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Crazy
Um,
stuff.
But yeah,
Don't
it's
bathe
one of
in
those
bleach,
things where
kids.
it's like, and, you know, it's an interesting thing because it doesn't like, take away from the messaging of the movie and the impact it does have. But you have to remember, like, it was written like 3 years ago,
Yeah,
like it feels like
have,
it.
They couldn't have known, but like now we don't want that.
It's just weird.
It's just a strange way to like frame your protagonist, especially since that's not what her character is like at all in the King of Monsters movie.
No.
Like she's
like
just
nothing
a
in
kid.
the King of Monsters. Yeah, she's just a kid,
which is fair. But like, I don't know why your mom dying from a thing that giant monsters caused would make you be like, I'm Team Godzilla all the way. He's responsible for half the deaths in my family, but
he's my best
I know
friend.
that he's good, and it's the government that's framing him this way. It's just a weird take. It's a weird way to frame this movie.
Was Josh in the other movie? Was he in King of the Monsters, her friend that she steals the car from?
No.
No. No?
She has no friends.
Is it just me, or did they literally just watch Spider-Man Homecoming and take Spider-Man's friend and put him in this movie and make him less likable?
Yeah.
Like,
South African.
Isn't that literally exactly what they did? Like that part where he starts hacking into the computer, even though we have never established that he does anything with technology. Does it just seem to me like they just ripped off that character and said nothing? Is it just me?
I'm happy to see Julian Dennison kicking around. Yeah. Because there are a lot of like funny child actors like that who hit puberty and disappear. So
yeah,
I'm just, cause he's the kid from Hunt for the Wilder People and Deadpool 2, and I mean those are pretty much.
He's got a great accent.
Yeah, he's
at what part was
kid.
Funny though?
No parts.
No, not funny in this movie.
The beginning, there was a line that I laughed at when he was first picking Millie Bobby Brown up. But I can't remember what it was now. But I did laugh.
He says that guy should drink bleach. Is it that part?
No.
Did you like the part where he's annoyed at listening to the podcast, so he grabs the steering wheel and tries to swerve with no explanation?
Do that all the time.
Okay. So I want to say,
why did that happen? Did you think that was the radio?
If you don't like the podcast, to just turn it off. Remember, just turn it off.
Don't do
also, where did
else.
they get that truck from? Why did they have that thing?
It's his brother.
It's his brother's news van? Question mark.
He mentioned that they took it from his brother.
Stuff in there.
Everybody in this movie has off-screen family that matters a lot.
A lot, yeah. Including Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kong and Godzilla.
Oh, sad boy.
We cannot talk about how many sad boy moments there are with King Kong. The part when they get to the Arctic and you're like, oh no, King Kong's gonna be cold and sad, and then he doesn't want to go underground, and it's just that shot of him just like looking at the frozen tundra and just being like, oh no, I don't want to be up here. It's just like, no, Kong, it's okay.
He's so
sad.
When they're shipping him out from the island on actual ships, and then the thought immediately occurs to you, which is, why didn't they just use like some other $1 trillion technology, since this is run by Apex anyway?
Right.
Or why didn't they just fly him? And then 15 minutes later, they're like, can we fly him? And then you're just like, wow, cool. I'm smarter than these people. That's great.
Okay, but when he's on the ship and Godzilla's like going for the ship and he flips the ship upside down and he's like still chained to it and he has to like crawl his way up. It's fucking tight as hell though. It's so good.
I liked some of that, but then they kept cutting away to the people not dying, and I was just like, how are you alive? But
we've gotten so far without talking about that shot in that fight where King Kong just fucking punches Godzilla in the face like he's fucking Donkey Kong. It's the coolest shit ever.
So good.
I was too distracted by the similar size.
I feel like that whole scene on the ships before they're like, okay, fine, I guess we'll actually fly him now. But like, I feel like that whole thing was really just an excuse for the shot of the two of them standing on an aircraft carrier and fighting, because I look at that as like an artist and concept artist in like games and stuff, like doing that kind of shit. Like that is very much you look at that and you're like, oh yeah, that was one of the early concept art pieces that they just did to kind of pitch the feel of the movie, and then they're like, we really want to keep this.
Well, yeah, because it fucking kicks ass. Why wouldn't you keep it?
It did look good. It was funny. I'm laughing when you're like, okay, yeah, so that was the exact shot and angle that they
like that
they
shot. You're like,
drew
oh,
this
that was a
from.
picture,
Okay.
and then we made it a film.
Yeah, like when you could just tell. It's very funny.
This movie's biggest problem is reverse engineering, because there are so many cool shots, and then they're like, how do we get there though? Kong on a boat, because it's gotta get to Antarctica.
We gotta get him places.
He's gotta be there. It's just we know that he's gotta be in Antarctica.
I feel like that problem spreads to more than just the shots and such in the movie. It really to more of just the plot in general. Where you're just like,
absolutely.
You could tell what they were wanting to do and like certain cool key moments. They're like, well, we really want to have this or this fight, and they just kind of ham-fisted getting there. It's like, all right, it's fine, whatever. You guys are having fun. Like,
we're all having fun here. It's okay.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun here today. But let me talk to you a moment about the Hollow Earth and gravity.
Oh my god.
I hate to break it to everyone. This is another War for the Planet of the Apes movie moment where I did Google if gorillas can swim and they cannot. So,
so it's accurate.
It is actually a bad movie because,
he's not a gorilla though.
But he couldn't swim. He sank.
He did sink, but he has to get back up on the boat.
Was wrapped all around him.
He was very much gonna drown, Adeline. He could not swim.
No, but then he gets back up onto the boat all by himself.
If he couldn't swim, he wouldn't have been able to surface again after he got free.
How are we defining
Yeah, that's what
swimming?
I'm saying. I don't know.
Moving in the water with purpose.
Butterfly stroke. Dash stroke.
I want to talk.
Can gorillas pick up whole trees and carve them into a spear with one hand and then throw them into their
have you seen that video? Have you seen that video of I think it's an orangutan of like literally making tools out of a tree in order to like break open a log to get the ants out of it? Have you seen that video?
No, it sounds sick though.
It's fucking wild.
Maybe not
so
that
I'm gonna go ahead and say yes, a gorilla could do that.
Well, I'm saying Kong is not a gorilla. He's King Kong. He's his own species.
Fair.
Yes, he's Titanus Kongus.
Titanus Kongus.
Do you guys?
He might be able to swim.
Okay, so in the title crawl, you do have like I think it is Titanus Kongus or Titanus Kong or whatever is like what he's classified under.
Kongula.
In Donkey Kong 64, every time that you get a power up or something like that, when from Cranky Kong, you actually like for some like there's like a little clip of your character doing his like new ability, like the ground pound or whatever. But each time they give you the name of like butt bash or ground slam or whatever, but then they also in parentheses give a Latin name for it.
Ooh.
Oh my god!
So I immediately, when seeing Titanus Kong, I was just like, just imagine the DK crew. It's just
Butt
oh
smash.
my god.
Genghis Khan.
Yep.
So I want to talk. I really like in all of these movies that they have sort of the same opening title sequence, which I just think is really good. I like the old school government declassified files thing. I like the old cave drawings and the
yeah, those have some charm.
Ancient art.
That's
I think
the
that
only
stuff is
through
all
line
super
of
fun.
all of these movies.
It
All
really
all these movies in this series have those opening montages of like the old footage of like Godzilla and King Kong, and they're always dope and so well made, and like immediately drop you in. You're like, ooh, cave drawings, ooh, World War II, ooh, atom bomb, ooh, Godzilla, and you're like, oh, I'm connecting the dots.
And the other thing I want to mention about the opening title sequence of this movie is Lance Reddick getting single card above the title billing for literally 2 shots in the film.
I love that he showed up. I heard him and I'm just like, oh my god! I didn't know he was in that movie. I was what the?
He has basically just as many lines as John Goodman has in this one.
Well, wait, does he have a line?
There is one soundbite at the end of the title crawl where they're just like playing sound bites and showing newspaper clips, and one of them is John Goodman from Skull Island.
But does Lance Reddick have a line, or does he just stand next to Kyle Chandler?
Lance Reddick has one line.
Does he? Okay.
Because
okay.
I remember hearing Zavala.
Yeah, that was literally what I was gonna say.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guardian. We have to stop Godzilla, Guardian.
We've evacuated the whole city in 15 minutes, just as you asked, Mr. President, or whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
Because that's
Mr.
what happens.
President.
So it's like either a lot of this movie feels like they're like, okay, we're making Godzilla versus Kong. Let me just call every actor in Hollywood. And like anybody who says yes, just rope them in there. And that's step one of writing this movie. Right?
Fair.
They're like, okay, here are the actors we have access to. Here's what their characters are going to be. Let's move forward from there. That's either that or, I don't know, Kyle Chandler doesn't do anything in this movie either. And he like
It's
literally
like-
has like less than a minute of screen time. I wonder if there was more of a B plot with Kyle Chandler that got cut, or if he was just always going to be totally inconsequential. I don't know.
It's
It's
interesting.
also
you
one of the
mention it.
only carryovers
Right.
Yeah.
from like the other Godzilla movies,
Yeah.
which is strange.
I feel like everybody who got called for, their quick cameos or bit parts in this movie, just did half the research and like, oh, Skull Island, Brie Larson, Tom Hiddleston, John Goodman, like, okay, sure, I'll show up to the Godzilla King Kong, and then nobody's there. It's like getting invited to a friend's birthday party, but that friend doesn't share your friends,
Right.
like you assume.
Right,
Yeah.
You're just there with a bunch of new people that don't really act.
They don't get any of the jokes that you make, so you just kind of
Right.
sit there in the corner.
And they're just
Yeah.
like, where's John Goodman? They're like, oh, he died in that one. In
it
that
also
last
took
Jeez,
place
bro.
over 40
John
years
Goodman
ago.
passed away 4 years ago.
And
Yeah, they
and
already
also
wrote out
John
half
C.
of their
Reilly
cast.
dead, which is
Mhm.
fine, but he died in a monster-related accident. But all the indigenous people died in quote a bad storm.
A big
It
storm.
wasn't
One
even
big
monster-related.
storm.
It wasn't even monster-related.
I mean, I don't know, it's kind of implied that it's like,
It
oh, something's
seems like
wrong
maybe
with the
they could have
climate of
done
the
something
island.
about it then.
Right, because it seems like there's like a perpetual
No,
storm going
it's not
on.
Lied. No, it's one line. They had one line to justify why there aren't
It
any
was a bad
indigenous people in this
storm. Well, right.
movie.
They
It
literally
rains too
So
hard.
bad.
they
It-
committed genocide
The
on their
wind,
own
we
script
don't know
in
what
one
to
line.
do.
We did.
We could
Really, what
save
I would
Kong,
do-
After
but we
centuries
just
of
can't save all these
existing on
people.
this island.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch any of that. What was that? Could you say that again? Sorry, both of you were talking at once, so I couldn't
Sorry.
understand either of you.
I know
We're just screaming about the same thing, which is that
Upset.
the indigenous people are killed off screen, not because of a monster-related incident, but because there was a bad storm. There's a line saying
Right.
that. Yeah. And
It's
Yeah.
That
it's it.
it's just awful. Because,
Okay, what
I'm
because
not-
they
just
saved Kong.
to kill him.
What I would do to fix that is I would not kill all of the indigenous people in the line. B, if you're gonna kill all of the indigenous people, what I would do is that you would have it be a monster related, because the whole thing is that island is full of other bad boys other than Kong. And so if Kong fucked up one day and he just like couldn't save them, maybe King Kong lost a fight, and so these other monsters were able to kill all of his friends. It would explain why he's so protective of the one that's left, because it's like, oh, because he failed protecting the people he was supposed to protect, and so now he feels like he is responsible for the one little girl.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
kind
that
of
would be
say
cool.
that anyway, but for no reason, because they all died in a storm. King
Yeah.
Kong could
Yeah,
not have
nothing to
done
do with
anything about the weather, but he could have stopped a big bone shark or whatever.
That would be interesting too,
Or,
because
like-
it would add some tension to like, oh well, if he couldn't do that, what makes you think he
Is he
could
gonna be
beat
able to beat
Godzilla?
Godzilla?
Yeah.
Or like, what if the storm or whatever was caused by Godzilla, like swimming by or something
Yeah,
like that?
Yeah,
so
making
that it was
Godzilla's
his
fault.
fault. And
some
then there's
collateral
more
bullshit, yeah.
tension instead of like they're enemies because they just have been, and that's
They
just
just
the
are.
way it
They're
is.
both just
And
so
some things will
strong.
never change.
They're both just so strong,
things-
you know? They gotta
just-
fight
they
'cause
just-
they're both so strong.
They feel it in their bones. But and then when she's like, Godzilla's not the enemy, that has even more weight because she would have beef with Godzilla because her whole people,
Right.
they all died because of him. It'd
Right.
be great. And she's deaf maybe because of them too. I don't know.
I think
Yeah,
they're
dude,
implying
like
that they were all
like a big
dead.
Godzilla scream or something.
I don't think it's implied they're all deaf. They just never speak.
I mean, John C. Reilly talked to all of them, right?
Yeah.
He did.
He like talked to them. They understood him.
So I want to talk
Speaking of
about
which-
the theatrical experience of this movie.
Did you have that?
I did. Kezia and I
Oh.
are both vaccinated, and we both went and saw fancy screenings, what's it called? Premium format screenings of Godzilla vs. Kong.
They gave you a ticket with your vaccine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good
That's
deal.
why so many people are going to see this movie.
Right, that's why it's grossing so well. But first things first. I have a bone to pick with Cinemark. Because of all the
Can't
premium format theaters in this world, you've got your IMAX, which is pretty standard across all different companies. AMC has the Dolby Cinemas, which have like subwoofers in the seats and like an extra big screen and like increased soundproofing and shit, and just really good atmosphere. Lots of really great stuff. I went to Cinemark. This is my first time going out to the movies in Salt Lake City because I moved here in the middle of a pandemic. And I'm like, oh, Cinemark XD. That sounds pretty sick. I'm sure it'll be really cool. Maybe
The
it's
XD
like...
should have been a red flag, Jackson.
Exactly. So I paid like $3 extra for it, and literally, it's like a slightly bigger screen. It's like and they're like physically there were a lot more speakers on the wall, but I don't think it was really much louder or better than any other thing, and I spent like $4 extra on it. And so I just want to say, Cinemark, get rid of that fucking XD bullshit because it's nonsense, okay? Step it up, make it cool, or get the fuck out of here. That's first. One. Secondly, the things, because I've seen a few movies since I got vaccinated. I've seen Nobody.
Seen a few movies.
I've seen Nobody with Bob Odenkirk, which fucks. I've seen Raya and the Last Dragon, which is pretty good, and now I've seen Godzilla vs. Kong. And those movies have made me realize that one of the fundamental things I missed about the movie-going experience was in Nobody, there's the scene where they cut to somebody in a hospital room, and this woman behind me whispers to somebody in her family, she goes, "That's his son." It was absolutely not his son. Didn't look anything like his son. And just hearing somebody behind you not getting the movie is a wonderful joy. But the other experience, is from Godzilla vs. Kong, in which at the end of the movie, there's this moment where Millie Bobby Brown and Kyle Chandler are reunited and they have a dramatic hug. And Julian Dennison says something that's not funny, and Kyle Chandler gives the most spectacular line reading in film history, where he just goes, "Shut up, Josh." And I absolutely lost my goddamn shit by myself in the theater, and nobody else laughed, and I had to just hold it in and cackle as silently as I could, not trying to disrupt the experience of everybody else, which is, I think, the most important facet of the film-going experience, in my opinion.
It really is. That was the exact experience of watching Venom in a packed theater.
Oh yeah.
My God.
And
Venom.
first, our friend group was the only group laughing at parts. When the theater was silent, we would laugh. No one else in the theater is laughing at Venom at the right parts. Like, there would be a terrible joke on screen and everybody would laugh except for us. That was such a moment in my life.
There was Ready Player One where he says, "You killed my mom's sister," instead of the words "aunt," which exists. And I laughed really hard in the movie theater. Not a lot of whole other people did, because apparently that was a dramatic scene.
Remember in Ready Player One, when Ty Sheridan is being beaten by his abusive father, and in the heat of that moment, he lashes out and calls his father a noob?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What a good
I
flick.
blocked that from my memory, jeez.
Oh my God.
Killed my mom's sister. It's just written by a computer program.
It was.
Ready Player None,
My
more
theater-
like.
Oh, nice.
Oh, we got zingers.
What's up, Kezia?
I
What was up
that
in your theater?
through the pandemic, I am old now, and I literally had to cover my ears while I was watching this movie
Right.
because it was so loud. I'm so acclimated to watching a movie on my laptop
Your own terms of volume.
Yeah, and I'm like, ooh, maybe if I'm really feeling it, I'll put my AirPods in. It'll be like surround.
Get the full experience.
You guys are making me furious because I would just love to go to a movie theater, and all you guys are doing is
I know.
complaining. I'm vaccinated
I'm
too.
loving it. I'm not complaining.
No,
I'm
it was
absolutely loving
awesome.
every part of it.
I'm complaining about my body being broken now.
Yeah, no, I had the
about
same
Can't
thing.
handle
I
loud-
get it.
Like, my ears hurt afterwards.
Can't handle loud things.
And, like, I
Yeah,
suddenly
it's
realized I
fun.
was like, what? Like, I was like, I've been to movies my whole life. Why do my ears hurt right now? And I was like, that was easily the loudest thing I've heard in at least, like, 16 months. You know? Like,
That's fair.
you think back on it and you're like, oh, yeah, I guess the next loudest thing I heard was when I sat on the remote and the volume went up too high on my TV and I pushed it back down.
Yeah.
Jackson,
Oh my
Do you
god, I'm so
remember-
thankful to see giant Godzilla punch giant Kong in the face.
Oh,
it
hell
was
yeah.
it was the best thing ever.
oh, so
It was
good.
a perfect
Best.
return to form.
Jackson, do
So,
you
thank
remember
you.
being a child and going to the zoo with our grandparents, our loving grandparents, and they took us to that thing, that SpongeBob movie that had like speakers in the seats and they would like move around and it was like SpongeBob 3D.
Right.
This time he's spongier and he's coming at you. Do you remember sitting next to me and the moment that seat moved, me just screaming my head off?
Yeah, you were out of there so fast.
Yeah, no, it's like a SpongeBob episode,
me.
except the volume is cranked, the screen is huge, and SpongeBob is screaming in your ears and moving your seat the entire time.
Just
I
like
think
SpongeBob.
I had to leave too. I think we all left after you flipped out.
No.
I got to
I
have it.
specifically remember Papa taking me out of the theater. But I feel like that's just what it's gonna be when we get back to theater. Like,
Right.
the second anything happens,
You're like,
I'm gonna scream and I'm gonna
Just gonna
leave.
I'm just gonna bolt.
Like a
Fight or flight
6-year-old
kicks in.
having a panic attack.
I want to talk about Adam Wingard, who is the director of this movie, who I am not mega familiar with. He has a pretty on and off track record, including things like the Netflix Death Note movie, Whoops-a-daisy.
Oh,
But
God.
his earlier work and his more personal work is very much. I was talking to Dan about this before we went on the air, but there's this movie called The Guest, which slaps so hard, which is basically, it's like there's like that subgenre of movies like It Follows and like Drive that are like kind of vaporwave movies. It's kind of one of those, but Dan Stevens plays like a CIA assassin. And it's about him like slowly, I don't even know how to describe it in a way that it like doesn't give away the twists and turns of it, but it's like vaporwave John Wick, even more than John Wick is already kind of vaporwave originally.
Yeah.
And like it's very much like neon lights and colors and like old school like synthesizers on the soundtrack and stuff like that. And I feel like that is present in Godzilla vs. Kong more than I was expecting it to be. A lot of the stuff where they're like looking around in the the secret base or whatever is very like neon lit and there's a lot of different colors. The score, that Tom Holkenborg score, that's like really like sort of synthy and old school, and like even like the big action sequence at the end, like where they're fighting in Hong Kong, where it's like all these like fictional buildings that are just like lit up different colors with just like these neon lights and these like synthesizers in the soundtrack, is very, very much the kind of thing that Adam Wingard likes. And I was just really excited that he was able to get that kind of stuff in the movie because it rules.
I love that shot when King Kong like gets knocked down in Hong Kong and then he like sits up and he's got like the pink on one side of his face and the blue on the other side of his face. It's just like, ooh, pretty.
It's good stuff. It's pretty.
That whole movie was
Pretty
honestly
stuff.
beautiful.
Yeah, no, the visuals, like, I had gripes about some parts, and, like, yeah, does putting a giant supercomputer mecha pilot seat inside of the skull make any sense? No.
Yes, it does.
Does it look cool?
He's got
Yes.
3 heads,
I
he's
want
got
that to
triple
be
the
my
brain
gamer setup.
power.
Yeah.
We only got 2 of them, though.
I want that gamer setup, man.
Oh, whatever.
He's in a skull.
He only has double the brain power. It's still good, Adeline. It's still better than you got.
Better than Alexa or whatever, I guess.
I mean, maybe.
But he
We
talked
don't
about
know.
artificial intelligence for like a minute, and none of it stayed with me.
And then
Like I was just like, "What are you?" Yeah,
Which is another one of
any
those
that
things.
actually necessary?
I think if this movie had no dialogue and no exposition, if you just like cut to the dude inside the Ghidorah skull with like his VR set up and he's controlling the Mechagodzilla from inside that skull, you just be like, I don't know what that is, but it's sick as hell, and I kind of want to know more about it, and it would be exciting that you don't get to find out more, you know, rather than being like, oh, it's...
I mean...
whatever the fuck they say.
Like, what would have been, I think, a little bit cooler if they had to go with that, if they didn't go with my original Mechagodzilla idea.
Right.
Is they shouldn't have just, like, electrocute killed the pilot. They should have had... basically Ghidorah possess him into piloting the robot for bad reasons.
Expecting that.
That's a good idea.
That's
like,
what I thought
the
they were
ghost
doing.
of
His eyes
Ghidorah.
kept like going nuts, right? Like they kept rolling back or whatever. Like they should have just had like haunted Ghidorah plus an AI would have been like really cool instead of just haunted Mechagodzilla.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's,
like it wasn't even an AI story. It's just haunted.
Let's get into Mechagodzilla. I have a thesis to lay out here.
Let's crawl all up inside him.
So
everybody in?
On
Everybody
this
good?
podcast,
Everybody got enough room for their legs?
For those uninitiated, on this podcast, there's been a long-running debate about a particular giant peach, and
you're gonna shoot me in the head.
And whether or not it is a kaiju. And one of the major talking points surrounding this debate involves Mechagodzilla, in which Adeline often argues that because Mechagodzilla is piloted by a human, a regular-sized human, that does not make it a kaiju. But what this movie posits is that this version of Mechagodzilla was originally piloted by a human man, but became self-aware. How does that... I just don't see how that fits in with your framework of reality, Adeline.
Well, it is. This one is a kaiju. This one is absolutely a kaiju. It's literally haunted by the ghost of a kaiju and has its own... It has its own brain, is doing its own thing. It's absolutely a kaiju.
So you're saying that...
But what about a peach that's haunted by the ghost of a boy?
It's not.
Haunted by the ghost of a rhinoceros.
The peach is inanimate, Kezia.
So it's Godzilla!
Mechagodzilla's also
No, he's
inanimate.
haunted by a ghost in this one.
All right, guys. I'm pretty sure the peach was animated.
Right,
I don't think it was a real one.
God damn it.
So
God damn
really
it.
quick though, isn't Ghidorah just piloting Mechagodzilla?
Possessing,
that
I would
the
argue it is. Well, because
explanation?
That makes
That-
it not a kaiju. It just
don't
makes
think-
it piloted by a kaiju.
I don't
But I think
that they
that's
were
more of a kaiju than a kaiju being piloted by just a regular person. That's less of a kaiju than a kaiju being piloted by a kaiju.
The line
When
you
did
have to
they
draw
say
here
that
is
he
so
was
arbitrary.
possessed, though? I don't think they said he was possessed by Ghidorah. I think they just
Oh,
were
they didn't
insinuating
say
that the
anything.
energy
That's the
made it
thing.
sentient. Like,
Okay,
making
well-
a robot
that.
sentient
I'm with
and
Tosh.
being possessed are two different things.
Well, now we're getting into the debate
Now
of
we'll
a soul
never know.
versus a mind, right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
No, that's really not what
Absolutely.
I'm trying to say. Oh, no.
Look, well, here's what I'm saying, Adeline. What you're saying is that there's an arbitrary line between something being piloted by... It can be piloted by different things, and under certain circumstances, the same object, the same pile of matter, can be a kaiju or not, based entirely around the context of other things around it.
Listen. If you keep talking to me in this tone of voice, I'm gonna exit the Skype call. But
Which
here's the thing.
would make me say
If we are describing, here's the thing: the movie does not tell you what it's doing with Mechagodzilla. It does not tell you if it's possessed or if it comes to life of its own, if it like gains consciousness. I would argue, I'm changing my viewpoint now that we're like getting all the facts straightened out that this movie will not give us.
Okay.
I would say if it comes to like life, if it gets its own mind and just like gets animated, I would say that is a kaiju because it is something that has a consciousness and is big and is doing something. It has its own mind. Yes, so that is a kaiju. If it's being piloted by something, I would say it's not a kaiju. That's a kaiju fighter or whatever. If it's the ghost of a kaiju possessing a big robot, I don't know what to tell you. I think that's a kaiju, and if you want to step to me on that, go ahead.
All right, this is going to be an odd question, and I don't want to get laughed out of the podcast, but is King Kong a kaiju?
Yes,
'Cause
absolutely.
I didn't
King
think
Kong
of...
is a kaiju.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know what?
He's
I
a
think
big
my
boy.
whole problem is I think a kaiju is anything that attacks the Eastern Hemisphere, and a monster is anything that attacks the Western Hemisphere.
Well,
Maybe it's a
also in
language
this
thing.
franchise,
I
they
think you
never
have to look
use
at
the
which
term
direction they spin
kaiju.
in a circle. Like,
Yeah.
When they flush the toilet, which way does it
Which
go?
orientation do
I
they
always-
write in?
I always feel
Yeah.
like a kaiju needs to emerge from the tides, and I don't see Kong doing that. But that's such a weird, arbitrary rule that
But
I was
Mothra
just...
in this
I-
franchise, they don't even say kaiju; they say Titan.
Right, they call him Titan.
Yeah.
They do.
So,
They've created their own.
I think it's
thing.
because
Which
they've
is-
already
which
had
is
this
the-
debate.
Right.
They didn't
And
want to get
couldn't-
into it.
They couldn't get anywhere with it. They were like, fuck it. Nothing's a kaiju.
Somebody kept
Yeah.
saying, we have to put the giant peach
Yeah.
in this monsterverse. And then they had to shut them
They
up
had to
by
shut
saying, no
everything
more
down.
kaijus, Titans
There's
only.
no kaiju in this movie.
now
And
that
if you say kaiju, you are immediately ejected from the film.
Ghidorah didn't come technically was in a frozen ice cube, but was from space. So
Did
that is not
Mothra
emerging
just
from the
descend
sea
from the
either.
sky? I
Ah,
can't
good point.
remember.
Yeah, Ghidorah the Explorer
Whoa.
from space.
Whoa.
All right,
Well,
that's it.
and
Dan-
they're saying that all
No.
of these guys are coming from
Gu-
Hollow Earth too.
Guys,
so
I'm sorry.
where did
We
the
need
peach
to end the
come from?
podcast there. Dan just won the podcast. He just,
Yeah, he
did
really
it.
did.
What
So,
other? Because that's the
I-
other thing about this movie that I think is interesting. And, like, this franchise, I think they're pretty much out of well-known kaiju to use. Like,
Yeah,
the
now
only
we're getting
other,
to the weird shit, man.
Well,
the
yeah,
only other
double
one
up
I could
the
name
door.
would be like Gamera
Mm-hmm.
and Jet Jaguar.
Mm.
And other than that,
I mean, we
don't
can
think
just
I
get
have
Kamen Rider
anything.
in here.
And Dino Dog?
Is that one?
And Clifford the big
Clifford
red
the Big
dog.
Red
The
Dog.
big red dog?
Maybe we just cross over the Monsterverse with the Transformers verse.
Ooh.
Oh god.
Adeline,
Maybe make-
Adeline,
Oh
Adeline,
my
Adeline.
God.
The
Is Optimus
Transformers
Prime?
are kaiju.
Okay.
Optimus
Because they
Prime.
are autonomous. They
Transformers
have their
are
own
kaiju?
minds.
I would
Oh,
agree.
yeah, they're
I would
big.
agree that the Transformers are kaiju.
Yeah, definitely.
No, they're an
the
alien
Beast
race.
Wars versions of the
Aliens can be
Transformers.
kaijus.
Yeah, aliens can
If
be
we're defining
kaijus.
kaiju as a big boy, something that is bigger than it's supposed to be and is fighting. It's bigger than a car is supposed to be.
I think I also assume that kaiju means purpose is destruction. And
Right.
the Transformers' purpose is not destruction.
Holy shit.
Someone's experiencing some
Someone's a
destruction right
kaiju.
now.
Someone is
now.
upset.
My cat threw a bowl.
Oh god.
Dan's
What
cat
does
is
your
Too
cat
much
kaiju.
King
think?
Kong.
What are
She's
their
learning how to
opinions?
use
What's
tools.
your What is your cat wearing? A tuxedo?
Oh, has he got a
No.
little top hat? Is it him?
Top hat?
I own
Is he tap
the
dancing
Baron.
on a railway?
The Baron belongs to me.
Is it his turn to die so that he can go to cat heaven? I don't know what happens in cats.
That's
What are they
it.
doing?
The cat returns.
Cat
and cats are the same
reincarnation.
plot.
Yeah.
I've got a handful of other things I have written down that are not necessarily big broad ideas that warrant a lot of discussion, but just points I wanted to point out about the movie. I think the visuals of the Hollow Earth on the inside are pretty cool. It's got a very sort of 80s fantasy novel kind of vibe that I really like.
I was
Uh,
actually
Yeah.
gonna bring that
What a-
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like we've come full circle. Like my 2 cents on the movie as a whole. I'm like, oh, this is so stupid. I have a lot of issues with certain plot holes, whatever, tropey things. I'm like, okay, cool, we're doing this bullshit again, whatever. But it was like fun. It was just dumb fun. But I do love that in this crazy big blockbuster film, we've come full circle. And it's like we went back to the 70s and 80s where science fiction, quote unquote, was really kind of just fantasy and weird excuses for like cool looking mountains and magic axes and shit.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
the whole sequence of Kong going through that wilderness and then opening the door with the bloody handprint and shit. I'm like, this
Yeah, hell
looks
yeah.
like it should be on some 80s rock album. Like this
What
should
is
be
the
album art or something.
8th
And then he
word
gets
for
the,
friend.
yeah, and then he got the fucking magic axe. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
This is
He like
just- this is
sits on
just
the
80s.
throne with his magic axe.
Yeah.
It's just so sick. It's like an axe made out of like a Godzilla spine with little to no
So mad.
explanation
If that wasn't the last shot in the movie, that it wasn't him just sitting on,
on
his
the throne. Yeah, it should have been.
Yeah, it really
Um,
should have.
One thing I would have really liked is if we could have swapped some characters around. I mean, just one big thing that was just like, why didn't they do this? Is have Millie Bobby Brown and the deaf child basically hanging out and both basically arguing about which monster is better, like the whole time. I think that would have been so fun because it's meta. It's like when
Right.
in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, when a bunch of people are partying around Baby Groot, and it's like the fandom like incarnate.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I would have liked that. It would have been cool to see like Bernie not go to the place that he was already at. Like think about it. Every place that Bernie goes is a place he's already been, and he's not even like I guess like what's the word? He's not even like scared to go back. Like there's no reason for him to be like unhappy with his circumstance. He's just like, sure, I'll go back.
Right.
It would have been cooler if like they put him in a new area, if that was going to be his like general demeanor. If he wasn't going to be reluctant, then make him go to Hollow Earth and he could say something stupid like, but I thought the Earth was flat, because he's not drinking fluoride.
Right.
So like it would have been like so much better, but like we just got 3 of the same character on one end and then 3 of the same character on the other end. Like
Yeah.
it was so boring. Like
Yeah.
mix it up a little bit.
But that's because the only real bad guy is money, and they needed to save that. So
Save the money.
Oh, but he did do the
Save the
thing where he's about to
money.
die and he says, "Oh shit," and then gets demolished.
Mhm.
Love
Oh,
that
I'm
trope.
really
which I think is the unifier in this sequence of, or this series of movies, because whenever someone's about to die, like when John Goodman gets crunched,
right.
he's
he,
like,
he does
"Oh,
say,
shit,"
"Oh
and
shit,"
then-
I
I think, which is I don't know what
It
I would
sounds
say
like
right
it.
before I get crunched, but
I'd be
I'm
like,
John
"Please,
Goodman
no
goes,
crunch."
shit, I think. What's the line? And then he explodes.
think.
he's like,
Line,
maybe I
and he dies.
shouldn't have. Maybe I should have been more explicit about what we were researching when we came here, so we could have taken more, precautions when we were exploring out here. That's on me. That's my bad. And
Yeah,
then
but it was
he
an
gets
allegory
crunched.
for the Vietnam War.
Yes.
Yes.
Which also,
yes.
that's what Nixon said too when he was resigning. He was like, "Oh shit,"
Oh shit.
and then he left.
And then he got eaten by a giant big animal.
And yeah, yeah. Rest in pieces. Sad.
I don't think he. Okay.
You
don't think he died?
Jackson, they're
I
lying.
was
to you.
gonna
You're
say
drinking
I
the
don't
fluoride. You don't
think.
know.
I don't think Richard Nixon
Conspiracy. Nixon's still alive.
got blown to pieces.
He
Okay.
didn't get.
Yes, he did, Jackson.
I
and
think
then
he died
died
in
TV.
one piece for the most part.
He didn't get. He didn't get blown to pieces. He got munched by a skull crusher. Jackson,
Right, okay, of course.
keep up.
Oh,
I was
Crawler.
gonna do a bit that it's like that scene from the Joker where he goes, "You get what you fucking deserve." That he shoots the guy, but it's Nixon, and I just don't know how to formulate it, so I'm just gonna put that out there, and we can move on. But
Okay.
just know,
And then King Kong says, "I'm the Joker now."
I am so upset
The Juggernaut
that
bitch.
they established that A, King Kong is old, and B, that he has some ability to speak. Why didn't they have him say, "I'm getting too old for this," right before he punches Godzilla in the
He's so
face
good.
or something? That would have been so good. Oh my god.
I want to point out we've done a lot of Rebecca Hall movies on this podcast. We've done Iron Man 3 and The Prestige and this now, which is just like more than
She's
most
good.
actors, which is fun. I like her a lot. I think she's
like her.
super hot in that weird Ant-Man suit that they wear for most of the movie.
Yeah.
And the in a way, but it's like, I don't know. I don't think anybody is really good in this movie, to be honest.
No.
Like,
no.
there are
Honestly,
no
Kong
performances.
is probably the best
For that.
performer.
Yeah, Kong is
Yeah.
absolutely the best performance in this
He
movie.
emotes more than anybody.
He really do.
It's true. That scene when he's the opening scene when he's taking a little chow and he's waking up and he gets
Yeah.
mad. That's pretty fun. That's
That
good
was
times.
That was
It was
actually a
really
really
fun.
nice dynamic scene. That was expectations subverted, although I think it only existed because of that, because I really don't understand why he couldn't have just lived on Skull Island still, and there couldn't have been just a facility on Skull Island.
All
But
right.
whatever.
It is, that is,
Well, no,
that's
no,
what
no,
it is.
no.
That is
That's the
Yo,
thing. That's what I'm
Island,
talking
but-
about. There's a horrible storm on Skull Island that's raging all the time. That's why they had to build the dome around him to protect him, because otherwise he would have been killed by the bad storm. The base is on
Put
Skull
the
Island.
dome
How'd they build it?
But they put that dome around him because they didn't want Godzilla to find him.
That's
That's what
They didn't
said.
want
They're
Godzilla
like,
to
Also
kill
true.
him.
if King Kong's out here, Godzilla will find him, but he never found him for 40 years. But now if we don't put him in this little robotic tent, they're gonna fight.
Well, he wasn't
So then
up
they
and
fight
doing
in-
shit the
in
last
the-
40 years.
He was a
Yes,
baby.
he was-
now
but he-
he's a
He
man.
woke up in 2013 when Gareth Edwards told him to, Kezia.
Godzilla? No, they woke him up when they were doing all the nuclear testing during the Cold War.
That was the first
get up,
time.
And then the Mutos, and then the
Time for
Mewtwo's
school.
woke up in 2014, and that's when
And then-
Godzilla was like, "Uh-oh,
And then the
we gotta do
Bionicles
something."
made the golden mask.
It's the Mewtwo's that started it all. Godzilla and King Kong were just hanging.
He
They
was-
never tried to fight in all of that time.
He was sleeping. Godzilla
The
was
Mutos.
sleeping.
He
No,
was
he
a-
wasn't.
He was a tie boy for 70 years.
You are incorrect.
In between the 50s
No!
and 2013. And when
No!
he wakes up and they're like, "Oh shit, we better deal with this Kong thing." So they go deal with the Kong thing and kill a bunch of native people.
That's not right. That's not correct.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. I stand by what I said. I'm more correct than you are.
Okay.
It's
my
the
God.
Mutos. It's the Mewtwo's.
Okay.
That's what got Godzilla involved.
Can
He
I
was
re-
awake though. That's what they're saying. That's what Ken Watanabe said before he passed.
In pieces.
Adeline, can I wrap up the
Jesus.
podcast, or are you
What's up,
gonna
bud?
make me read a creepypasta first?
Hey guys, so something was really weird about my copy of Godzilla. And by copy of Godzilla, I mean my HBO Max subscription. I recently bought a table from a hospital, and it had the ghost of Ghidorah on it, and then it possessed it, and then it took my computer, turned into Mechagodzilla, and then I poured some Kool-Aid on it, and it fixed it, but it was red Kool-Aid, and now everything I see is red. Anyway, welcome to Creepypasta Book Club. Today I have a short one. I was prepared. I knew that we would probably go
Okay.
long. This is a meta horror. I just don't know if we're all going to be prepared for it. It's going to really be. I think it's under the category mindfuck. So I think everybody just needs to kind of prepare and just like get ready for this.
Okay.
Whoever wants to read it.
Usually
can.
I read these. Do either of you guys want to take a swing at reading a creepypasta?
I wouldn't mind.
Okay, Dan. We'll pass the buck to
Go
you.
for it.
So what do I do?
So I
There's a
sent the
creepy-
link to the Discord, and you just read it.
This
And
is
who's
a
gonna
bit we
teach me how to
started
read?
doing in the last couple of months.
Oh, I have to teach you how to read. Okay, so, you know the alphabet.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so there's this thing.
Have you heard of
There's
Q?
26
The
of them.
message. Don't dismiss
heard
this
of-
outright as the work of some raving lunatic. There's some sense to this story if you'll just hear me out. Look,
Good
we
start,
all
good start.
wonder if time travel is possible, right? Well, let me tell you something. It is. I'm from the future, actually. I know you probably don't believe that, but seriously, I'm from the future. It's a really great thing getting to see the past, watching events unfold, stuff like that. We know more now than we ever would. Behind all the fun, though, there is a more serious aspect. We aren't supposed to go into our own lifetime, and we are never allowed to contact our past selves. Let me tell you, I'm breaking that rule right now. Yes, kid, you're talking to yourself.
It's me.
Your
Ah!
future self.
No,
I'm
it's
going
Dan.
to
That's
be
why he volunteered. He knew. that
I'm
he was
going to be
speaking to himself.
executed for this, but you know what? I
Oh,
accept
shit.
that. I'm preventing something by talking to you that is worse than death.
Oh, fuck.
I can't tell you outright what to do because the filters would catch it. This is the closest I can get, trust me. I can, however, send a little message. You should probably read the first word of every paragraph now.
Oh, no.
Original author, you. Okay.
So-
Don't look behind you.
Oh,
Okay.
no! Ah!
Well, no, guys, it's me, so it
It's
wouldn't.
behind. It's
Oh,
behind.
It's behind Dan.
What's
Thank
behind
fucking
you?
God. Okay.
Oh, I'm
Jesus
not gonna
Christ, I was
look.
so
It told me not
scared.
to look.
Yeah, you can't look.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
Do you want me to look?
Keisha.
So you
Alright,
saved
fine,
me.
I'll
Does
look.
that mean that there's
Dan,
no
don't
COVID
look! No,
anymore? or
Dan!
something
Oh
like
God,
that?
it's Ruby.
No!
So now you didn't fix whatever it is, and you're gonna get executed in the future.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't fix anything.
Well,
That's problematic.
if he dies
You'd
now,
think
does
that
he get executed in the future
You
though?
think saying like phrases
Oh.
like "Let me tell you, I'm breaking that rule right now" would also get caught by the filters.
yeah, I think I'm from the future would also maybe not get
Yeah.
past the filter.
I can't
That's
tell you
the
exactly
one
what
thing
you
that
don't
they
know.
left out.
because then they might execute me.
You, Dan, I'm on your side. You from the future, because us now we don't know what the rules are. We don't know how the bylaws work. So you know, I think I commend you and your future self. But maybe this is like a looper situation where if you die now, then nothing will happen and we'll be all fine, and Bruce Willis will save us or something. I don't know.
So wait, future you's trying to kill
Well,
Dan?
We can sacrifice
Dan?
me
Maybe.
to Kong right now. If we sacrifice
Isn't
me to
it
Kong,
future
the
Dan's
sacrifice
trying to kill past Dan?
Well,
I'm so confused. I'm glad it's not me.
All right.
I mean, I'm really glad I didn't volunteer to read this one.
But
God damn it.
I clearly just forgot how to write in my old age.
Yeah, you're
Well, you
97.
just learned how to read, so
I'm a personnel kid. Trust no one, not even yourself.
Okay, I think we're about ready to wrap it up. Do you guys want to hear a 1-star review of Godzilla vs. Kong?
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Is
oh.
it also from me in the future?
wait.
It sounds like it will be.
Before we do that, everybody plug your stuff. Keisha, go first.
Oh, okay. Thanks for tuning in. We have a Discord if you'd like to join it. The link is in the description below. We're always talking on there, you know, a little throwback to the past with some Minecraft parody
A
songs.
lot of Minecraft.
I
parody
never
talk
listened to
on that
Minecraft.
A
Discord.
lot of Minecraft parody.
I never listened to Minecraft parody songs, but I have a lot of students who made me listen to them, and I've learned to love them through them. You can also follow us on Twitter at NoNerdsPod. Please vote for Mothra on our current poll. You can follow Jackson at Jebberpack. You can follow Adeline at Hollowbackhorse, and you can follow me at CodaVH. I don't know. That's actually Dan, but also I forgot what it was. So you can follow Dan at.
How many people are me right now? I'm really confused.
That's the
I
twist.
don't need Twitter.
Keisha is Dan.
Oh,
I'm you from the future.
Why are you me?
I'm trying to protect you from whatever's happening. I can't say it because it's illegal.
You'll get caught.
Behind me.
But
To get
it's bad.
executed.
I look
I'm
behind
gonna
me.
get executed.
Um,
Also, we need a new Discord link. Apparently, an
that keeps
updated
happening.
one, because
Why is
been-
that?
You have to set it to not expire.
I did is the thing about it.
Oh, I don't know. then.
Hmm.
The thing about
Um,
The thing about that is that I
is-
did do
This
that.
never happens in the future.
Just
Well,
Uh-huh.
it'll be resolved
Really?
soon. But for now, you can follow our friends at their things that they're gonna plug right now.
Hi, this is Coda from Ghidorah's Murder Garage, and I have this wonderful podcast called "It's Not My Podcast," and it's called the Cosmonaut Tabletop, and that's related to the Cosmonaut Variety Hour in a way which makes it better than the Cosmonaut Variety Hour, because the Cosmonaut Variety Hour basically is just a pool of Spider-Man hate. We're the good part of it. we're the bright side of that coin, and it is that we play a game. That's Tosh and I, and some other folks on there, and we act like people that we're not, and it's entertaining. I know, crazy, but they've been doing it on All the World's a Stage. They've been doing it forever, since Kong could walk, and he honestly, speaking of performers, you know, that Kong guy, he is hot, right? We all agree.
Kong, yeah.
Yeah.
I may have
Daddy
lost
Kong.
yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
thread
my
here.
God.
But it was an important question. I'm at Coda VH or Kodav or Coda out on Twitter. That's my kind of nickname. So yeah. And then if you want to follow me on there, I promise I won't annoy you too much.
Wow, low bar.
I get an
End
HBO
of
password out of it.
No HBO passwords. I do not subscribe to the home box office, not since they ended
Usernames.
John Adams. I'm
John Adams.
still boycotting
That was a
HBO.
stellar.
Bring back John Adams. I need to know what happens to him.
Does he not die at the end of the series?
Round out his character
I'm
arc.
sorry? Are you insisting that non-fictional person John Adams is dead?
All right. I'm
Spoilers,
sorry.
Jackson.
I'm
That's
sorry. I
true.
shouldn't have
I
spoiled
would
it for
like
you.
to
I'm really
discover this
sorry.
on my own.
That was shitty of me. I'm really sorry, Dan.
Yeah, spoilers
Yeah,
for
okay.
Godzilla versus Kong and for John Adams. Just the
Played
human
by Paul
being.
Giamatti. So that will hopefully be the next
Yes.
crossover. It's Paul
There we go,
Giamatti versus
yeah.
Kong versus Godzilla. All the same size. Yes.
Do you want to plug
100%.
any of your stuff?
Yeah. Can somebody else plug something
Tosh.
before I
The order
short
just
circuit, like
Dan, then
computer
John Adams,
got
then
alcohol in it?
Tosh.
Hey, in that story, alcohol was a solution.
True.
Get it? It's a chemical joke.
I was gonna say, I was
that
like,
is
that's a
funny.
chemistry joke.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's layered. It's a layered joke.
Not a layered drink.
Okay.
It's Chekhov's gun in a holster, but it's not a gun.
People are
we
getting
never
impatient
used
in
the
the
fucking
chat.
gun.
People are
Oh my
getting
God.
impatient in the chat. You gotta go, Tosh.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was. My bad. I've been taking a minute. Let me just. Yeah. Hey, I'm Tosh, aka TaschDraws. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch most frequently. And yeah, I'm also on Cosmo Tabletop with Dan. You can find us on Twitter and all your podcast platforms if you want to listen to us do some fun D&D and also Star Wars D&D. It's great. And yeah, and then I stream every Wednesday on my channel at twitch.tv/TaschDraws with a couple of my voice acting buddies. And we just do dumb games on Wednesdays at like 3 Eastern, so you can come check that out. And yeah, I think that's it. And I'm on Find Us Alive with Jackson.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I never plugged
you
that,
guys,
but yeah.
Yeah, you guys should listen to that. It's great. SCP shit. So, and yeah, I think that's it.
There was one now.
What's that? Was that a dog?
That was actually me hiccuping, and
Oh.
I'm sorry.
No, it was an SCP.
Okay.
Extreme.
So next week, tune back in. We're gonna be continuing with our Best Picture nomination episodes. We're gonna be talking about Trial of the Chicago 7 with Vi Huntsman of Collabs Without Permission. It's a good thing they said yes, because I think I said we were gonna do that before I actually asked them.
Oh my god.
But it's cool.
Spoiler for how many are at the trials.
But, well, I think
Where?
you'll be surprised when you watch the movie, Adeline. There's actually 8 of them, because one of them technically, it's actually a real history fact, Adeline. There were 8 of them.
Damn, there's a lot of spoilers on this podcast.
It
But
really
so
is.
do you guys, to wrap up the show, do you guys want to hear a 1-star review of Godzilla vs. Kong now?
Oh, please,
Yes,
please,
please.
absolutely.
Yeah.
This review comes from Letterboxd.com, and this person says, CGI vomit, bad editing, and awful dialogue. No idea why a 6-year-old girl would be hanging around King Kong and not in school.
Oh my god.
It really
Keep
did
our
take a
kids
turn.
in school. And
Keep our
away from
indigenous
Kong.
children in-
Movie is pro alcohol and anti school.
Yeah.
You guys, I got an email from the random woman who like must have found my email address off of my work website, and they were like, I know that you work with the youth in town, and I need you to sign my petition to ban Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion from all
Oh,
radio stations.
Jesus.
Because did you watch the Grammys with their pussies? It was so sexual, and I didn't respond. But I did check out their petition, and 2 people have signed it so far.
Oh, hell yeah.
So they're gaining traction.
Gaining traction. This is our time. Ban pussies from the radio.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The children. Think of the children. They need
Think
school
of
and
the
not alcohol and
children.
not King Kong.
Anyway, my name's Jackson McMurray.
Song is a gateway drug.
Kong.
My name is
First
Adeline
skipping school
McMurray.
for Kong.
Wait, we gotta start over because
My
this is a
name
mess.
Kezia Rhodes.
My
Yes.
name is Big Jackson McMurray.
My name is King Adeline McMurray.
My name is Kezia. Vote for Mothra in the poll Rhodes.
My name is Robot Godzilla. I mean Mecha Godzilla. I mean Coda.
My name is Godz.
And this has been No Nerds Allowed.
Nice.
Thank you to everybody for listening. It actually hasn't been that long of an episode. I thought we would go longer than this. It's cool.
No.
And yeah, that's the end of the show. And perhaps near the end of the stream, just thank you guys for hanging out. I know we don't get to like look at the chat like super mega often when we do the show, and you know some people
I didn't at all.
Mecca.
super mega often.
Yeah, Mecha odd often.
Because it's just, I don't know, it's this weird thing. We like doing it live. We like having you guys there, and it's fun to have the energy to, like, have something to, like, look at if they're, like, talking about the movie in the chat, you know? But, like, in this format, it's kind of hard to, like, really be riffing with the chat a lot. So, I don't know, maybe that's something we need to work on. Maybe that's something we need to think more about as we move
Well, if
forward.
we say more
Chat
wrong
riff
things,
section.
then we'll get more feedback, and then we can
Right.
respond to the
We
feedback
should
and
say
not have
that.
to worry
It's
about
true.
people tweeting at us later.
We should say wrong things. I wish
If we
people
just
would
do
tweet
more
at us.
Zack Snyder,
Yeah.
yeah, tweet at us.
All right.
So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys for sticking around if you're still here, and I hope you keep coming back if you're new, and if you're old, thanks for still being here. We appreciate you, and that's all. I'm gonna stop the stream.